Welcome back, Dr. Troy Dukowitz here with the Patient Education Retention System. Here we are, August, week 3's tip. This tip is a really good tip to help to open up people's understanding as to the power of a chiropractic adjustment in terms of the immune system. This is one that I'm really excited about because it's that time of year, folks. It's that season, that's right. No, it's not football season. Not college football season. Not even hockey season. It's flu season. That's right, flu season is right around the corner, and we want to do everything that we can to be right in the limelight of that discussion. Why? Because what we know is that people are going to walk into Target, Walgreens, Walmart, the local grocery store that has a pharmacy, CVS, and any other store that you can think of, and they are going to start seeing signs, if they haven't already, about getting their flu shot. Now, this is not an anti-vaccine campaign. This is an empowerment campaign. So your first tip that you will see says this. You guessed it, that season is upon us. And this tip is specifically talking about the increase in the immune system by 200% by people who get a chiropractic adjustment. This opens the door for us to talk about what the immune system does. Helps to fight off colds, flus, illnesses, and disease. So it helps us to strengthen our immune system by getting adjusted. This is a pro-chiropractic discussion. This is an empowerment discussion that you will share with the patients about how important it is to get adjusted so you can significantly decrease the chances of getting sick. Now, it also has in there the importance of sleep, and it also has in there the importance of reducing stress, because what do we know? Although the chiropractic adjustment increases immune system function, well, what does that mean? Yes, I have a higher capacity to deal with stress, but guess what? As long as your stress goes up and surpasses what it is capable of handling, immune system function goes down. So it doesn't mean that people can't get sick. It does mean that they should be able to handle more stress, which always isn't a good thing, but they should be able to handle more stress before they bottom out. As long as they learn how to manage stress effectively, this doesn't become an issue. So, what do we learn from this? This first tip is the important tip. This is the one that you're publishing and giving to patients that week so that you can actually talk to them about the adjustment, about the immune system. You can even throw in some conversation about stress and how it affects our bodies and our health. Now, there is an option in this week. The option is this. You can use the second tip. There's two ways to use it. Number one, you could use the second tip as your tip of the week. This is the truth about the flu shot. There is a piece in here about chiropractic stimulating the immune system, but it also talks about what's in the flu shot and some of the studies and research and what it's shown in terms of what happens with people who get the flu shot. Now again, this is not anti-vaccine, but you can use this as a standalone tip. Or if you want to, you can take it a step further and you set up a vaccine table. And on that table, you have the ingredients for vaccines. Put a bottle of antifreeze on there, put a jar and pour some makeup, formaldehyde, go ahead and put some aluminum on the table. In other words, we set up a table where we mimic the ingredients of vaccines, label them all so people can actually see this is the stuff that's in a vaccine. Then you leave this tip on the table. So when they come in the office, they get tip number one. When they walk over to the table and look at the table and the ingredients, they can now pick up tip number two if they want it. Now, why are we doing this? Again, it's not anti-vaccine, but most people don't even know what's in a vaccine in the first place. So we set up a table, we have the ingredients on it, and it opens up a discussion. And the discussion is merely letting people know what's actually in a vaccine and if they think that's a good idea to be injecting those things into their bodies. Would you do that on a regular Saturday? Would you drink any of this stuff? Would you put it directly into your bloodstream? Then why would you go to the store and let somebody go ahead and jab it into your system? Now, again, this is not anti-vaccine. We're merely opening up a discussion with people. You're not here to tell them they're wrong. What you're here to do is empower them, which is why we have tip number one. To be able to empower them as to how powerful the chiropractic adjustment is, how it affects our immune system, and helps to keep us healthy. We also open up the door by the realization that when stress goes up, immune system function goes down, which is why people get sick in the first place. This educates them as to how the body works. So if you choose to do option 2 With option 1, you got a nice little display that's set up in the office that opens up and generates conversation, and all of it is geared around what? Empowerment. Don't forget that. So you get to choose how far down the rabbit hole you want to go this week, but for certain, we have the first tip, which talks about the adjustment and talks about boosting the immune system. Now, where does this work for a CA? For CAs, it's simple. Patient comes in, hand the tip to them just like you would any other day. If they don't look like they're interested, stimulate the conversation. Mary, this is a really important tip as we roll into flu season. We want to talk about ways to keep your immune system healthy because that's what will fight off colds and flus and sicknesses. Please make sure you read it. Or let them, obviously always let them have a chance to sit down. They may read it when they sit down. Or, hey, why don't you read it on the way to the room? Or if doc's not in there, read it while you're waiting for the doctor. Make sure you're laying down, but read it while you're waiting for the doctor. Docs, when you walk in, you have the conversation, man. I can't make this any easier on you. You get to talk about immune system function. You get to talk about how stress affects the body and decreases our ability to adapt. And then you also get to talk about the power of the adjustment and the stimulation of immune system function. I can't make this stuff any easier. This is what they call a layup. Now, always be aware. This is the last piece of this puzzle. Always be aware. And what does that mean? It means that there are people who you know who have a spouse or significant other that need to get into the office, a friend, a coworker. Be aware in those moments and bring it up. Mary, you know, we keep talking about your husband getting in. You tell me he's sick every year. Why don't you take this tip home and share it with him? Hey, Mary, you know, you always talk about people at work and how they're always coughing and sneezing and like getting goo all over the place. Why don't you take a few of these with you back to the office and share them with them? Or could you put them in your lunchroom? In other words, take the next freaking step. Don't just leave it out there and hope that they're going to take the tip and walk into the office and go, woo, man, my chiropractor just gave me a great tip. Who wants to read it? Or you put the idea, give them a call to action. Here's what I want you to do. Take the tip, go back to your office, and those 3 people you keep talking to me about, say, look, I was just at my chiropractor's office. This is a great tip. You need to read this. Because you're always like slobbering all over the place, and you're always sneezing, and you always got something going on. They might be able to help you. Slide it across the table and have them read it. What's the worst thing that can happen if you do this? No, doc, I don't think they'll want to read it. Well, how about you take it to them, and if they throw it away, that's fine. But at least we know we tried. People think about being pushy. This isn't being pushy. What this is doing is giving people an opportunity to learn what you and I do. So at the end of the day, what do we have to remember? Why are we here? We're here because we want to increase patient certainty. We know when we increase patient certainty, we increase retention, which means the people you're taking care of get more empowered by this message and understand on a deeper level why they're in your office, number 1. Number 2, because they actually start to understand it, they can go out and share this message with coworkers, friends, and family. And you don't have to ask them to. The more they know, the easier it gets for them to go out and share the story. So stay committed to this. Keep doing the work. Here we go, folks. This is it. Week number 3 for August. This is your tip. Make sure you sit down with your team. Make sure you share what it is on Monday morning and launch. Have fun with this. Education should be fun. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.